Welcome to my channel, where I'll tell you all the ways that I did everything wrong and failed, so you can learn from my mistakes. And by the way, if you like this, please like and subscribe down below. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to give you an update of what I've been doing. So I have been still doing the 2 weight sessions at the house here in the home gym twice a week. And then I've been getting 1 or 2 sessions in the hotels while I'm out on the road, but getting cardio every other day. I keep the cardio and the weight sessions down to 30 minutes. My schedule is I have 10 hours off, and in those 10 hours I have to get to the hotel, I have to check into the hotel, I have to eat, I have to sleep, I have to shower, and I have to exercise. So in order to get the proper amount of sleep, I have to do this in 30 minutes. It may be at a different time every day, but I tell you about all this because I'm telling you, you can squeeze it in. I've worked diligently to get it to 30 minutes, and if I'm not done in 30 minutes, oh well, gotta go. And because I do it when I wake up, it's really restricted to 30 minutes. I have an alarm set, I have to have time to shower, and I have to have time to get ready. So far, my weight has stayed exactly the same. So I would expect that because I'll be gaining muscle and losing fat. I've seen some little bit of inches off of my belly and a little bit of gains in other places, which tell me I'm being very successful at this time. What we're going to talk about today is, I follow a lot of different people, as I'm sure many of you have. I follow people like Dr. Barry, Dr. Beck, Thomas DeLauer, Dr. Gustin, Sinlad, and quite a few others. And they all have different opinions about how to do things. Part of the reason I started this channel is I found it sometimes hard to relate to most of the people who I was following. Either they were doing crazy, very detailed diets, or they had unrealistic ideas about how to do something on my schedule, which wasn't possible, or on my budget that wasn't possible. The person who I truly feel got the closest to being understandable and being closer to how I felt about things, how I was able to do things, I should say, was Dr. Barry. He's a Tennessee doctor with a Tennessee sense. And so I do like him, and I do suggest everyone go and watch his videos. But in all of that, I'm sure you've heard keto, dirty keto, carnivore, paleo, low carb, and then of course everyone knows about the low fat, eating a whole balanced diet with calorie restrictions. I will never advocate the low-fat or calorie restriction carby diet. I don't believe that's sustainable, and if it works for you, I'm very glad I doubt you're watching me at this point in time. My history is I've done the low-fat and the balanced diet and the calorie restriction, and I failed at it every single time. In fact, I never even got successful at it. I should say I failed. I never even got successful to begin with. So, follow all these people and you listen to all these things, and maybe you're like me, like, I don't have a kitchen, and I don't have that kind of time, and I don't have that kind of money, or and I can't do what this one's saying or that one's saying. Well, that's because there's no perfect answer. You can do anything, whatever works for you. Whatever you're capable of doing will work, and cutting out carbs, cutting out sugars, and eating a higher fat is going to make a big difference. And for me, I don't look at it what I can eat. I look at it as what I can eat. And I can eat meat. I can eat good sources of fat, which doesn't include vegetable oils or margarine, by the way. And I can eat cheese and eggs. That's pretty much it. Makes it really easy for me to figure out what to eat because it's all just a few items. So I will tell you some of the things I do follow. After listening to all these guys and all this information, there are some things I truly believe would be important in any diet anyone's going to follow on this side of the universe of taking care of yourself. No milk. Heavy whipping cream, maybe a little bit of sour cream now and again with a particular food, but and cheeses, good solid cheeses, not cheese products, but no milk. If you want to put weight on a calf, you give them milk. So, and I'm trying to not put weight on this calf. No grains. That's pretty easy. no oatmeal, no breads, no whatever else. I mean, that's just part of being low carb. You need to stick with, low carb vegetables. Um, if you're going paleo, it'd be all, real vegetables. I would still avoid most of the fruits, a little bit of raspberries now and again, blueberries, whatever is okay, but they're very sugary. So if you're on paleo, you're gonna find all these whole foods and these things you could have eaten when you were, back in the dinosaur age. But I truly believe that the human diet of high fat and low carb comes all the way up into the 1800s. It wasn't until we started refining flours and refining sugars that we started getting diabetes and Alzheimer's and dementia and heart disease. Because before all those things, before this big push of sugar into our diets, people weren't dying of diabetes and dementia and Alzheimer's. They're dying of a lack of antibiotics. And if they could make it through without eating antibiotics, they lived long lives and healthy lives and slim lives. So those I think are the important things, is to look at those things and say, hey, that's the fad diet in the last 80 years. So what's most important points for what I do? I try to stick with whole foods. Foods that if you bought it, you could buy each individual item in the grocery store, and for goodness sakes, you can pronounce every item. No box foods, no sugars. I can't stress that, the sugar is the biggest problem, I think, that we are facing today, and you don't have to take my word for it. Dr. Berry, Dr. Berg, there's a billion studies that, sugar grows cancer. Sugar may be some of the causes of dementia and Alzheimer's. Sugar is definitely some of the problems with heart disease. Sugar, 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 sugar. And you can relate to all of those things and these major diseases. But the big thing I want to talk about today is drinking. Not just alcohol. We like alcohol, and we have learned that the hardest thing about drinking alcohol when you're on this is, by the way, I love Cape Cods and Greyhounds, and those are both fruit juices, and fruit juices are positively horrible for you. And they're definitely not going to help you lose weight or be healthy. So we switched over to vodka and soda water. I really like the candy cane vodka and soda water that we had over Christmas. A little bit of lime, a little bit of lemon vodka. Makes a great drink. They call one a skinny bitch with the lime. But if you order skinny bitch, half the bartenders aren't going to know what you're talking about, so just soda water. Stay away from the tonics. Tonics are as bad as sodas, and everyone knows sodas are bad. You should know that at this point in time, juices are bad. You should definitely know that sugar substitutes are horrible for you, and never drink the sweet tea down south. That's just sugar with water with brown coloring, and they call it tea. Regular tea, hot tea, cold tea with no added sweetness, a little lemon, a little lime, that works. Coffee, black, a little bit of heavy whipping cream, which, in the beginning is okay, but you're going to eventually plateau on that. You might not need to cut that. A little bit of butter. I drink my coffee black now. I carry my own Folgers singles, so I don't have to have different flavors of coffee all over the place. No sports drinks. The sports drinks, there might be a place if you're extremely dehydrated for some Pedialyte or a sports drink in an extreme situation, but on a day-to-day, you don't need that. And if you do need it, you're not watching me, because you understand a whole lot more about physical fitness than I ever will. See, you have to do what works best for you, but you also have to be smart with these. Some of these drinks are horrible. When you're drinking alcohol, you got to remember, you got to limit. Alcohol is not good for you. I'm not going to quit drinking alcohol, but, if you don't want to drink alcohol, that would be great. Don't drink beer. Avoid wines unless you, use wines as a treat and small amounts, unless you're sure about the carb content, and that's a little bit harder. And I'm not going to go into that because I'm not doing it. I'm just avoiding the wines. And if you're drinking alcohol, drink it straight, or with soda water, or with water, whatever works. So, until next time, keep trucking.